Come on, go, 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 go. Update, update. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel and what I hope is the last video before we start this thing. So we're currently waiting for the Holley HP to update the firmware there. It's almost finished. And I'm still waiting on some parts, but I'm going to show you guys what I've done the last few days and what I'm kind of doing to go ahead and hopefully be able to start this car tomorrow. And of course, we also have this box, which I'm really excited about, guys. I can't wait to open that, show you guys what's inside and what I'm so happy about. As a matter of fact, I think we're going to go ahead and open that box before I show you all the updates and just get that out of the way. Guys, when I first started the Chaos Theory build, I said, and I've said it many times since we started it, I was not going to put any decals on this car unless it was from an actual sponsor. Well, I'm happy to report that we have our first manufacturer sponsor, not just for the Chaos Theory build, but they're sponsoring the channel in general. You know, any car I build, any car currently on the channel that I need their parts for, I get their parts. So that's awesome. What makes it even more awesome is I don't even have to sell out because it's a company that I've been pushing for, well, since before this channel ever started. That's right, I have been using their parts for several years before I even started this channel 3.5 years ago. And they make good parts, made in the USA, very cost effective. I'm going to welcome aboard our new sponsor, LSX Innovations. So I reached out to them about an accessory drive for this car, alternator only, and we talked about it, and yeah, so they've agreed to sponsor the channel. Whatever parts I need for this car, for any other car, they're not just sponsoring the single build. So he sent me this swag pack out, and there should be some parts for the car too to get me started. I like these shirts, guys. They do have these shirts available too. You can buy them outright. But I believe he sent one for me and one for Uncle Ray. See, this is a large here. That would obviously not be for me. Oh, he sent more than that. Oh, he sent several shirts. So we got one. We got an extra large. Holy crap. Wow, he sent shirts for everybody. There's another large. And got here another extra large. Holy crap. I don't know if I can wear it. Well, these are Hanes beefy tees, so hopefully the extra large will fit me. I normally wear a 2X, but this one looks like the extra large will probably fit me. So, thanks for that. Let's see what else we got in here. Alright, we had talked about, I'm actually going to run the logo on the windshield of Chaos Theory. So, well, I'm not going to unwrap them, but it looks like we've got maybe more than one long decal for the windshield. We got a roll of smaller decals. This back here. Oh yeah, we got some big stickers too, guys. So we're definitely going to be putting these on Chaos Theory. Maybe some on the old toolbox. So let's see what parts I got. Out of the way. Oh, got some more smaller stickers too. Heck yeah. Those are toolbox stickers there. Oh, here we go. Yep, there we go. We got an LSX Innovations banner. I hope you guys can see that. We got to find a spot out here to hang that up. We may have to move some stuff around. Heck yeah. So that's our swag pack. I thought we were done with the t-shirts and a couple stickers, but that's our swag pack. We'll figure out a place to hang this banner up in a future video, and let's get on to the parts. So as I already said, we talked about a low mount alternator. Guys, I'm pumped. You know, we've got English Mountain Raceway, as a partner with the channel, but LSX Innovations is our first real corporate sponsor, or real manufacturer sponsor. And like I said, the reason I'm so pumped up about it is, you guys know, I've been recommending their engine plates, their block off plates, their oil adapters. I've been recommending all their stuff for years, guys, and I've been paying for it. None of those have been sponsored videos or anything. It's just I really like their parts. And the products I use on this channel are usually like, eBay, I'm just going to say it, really cheap, like Chinese parts and stuff. And that's been the one staple throughout the whole channel of parts that I've used on every build, including Chaos Theory here. Now, we didn't use their engine mounts on Chaos Theory, but I used several of their EGR block offs, or their oil block off redistribution thing on the oil cooler lines. So, I've used their stuff on everything, every single project. I'm just sitting here thinking, and even a couple projects that I've helped with that have not been on the channel, we've used their stuff on too. So, it's a company I was already standing behind, was my point. And, now I get sponsored by them. So, okay, yep, here we go. So you can see right here, this is the low mount alternator kit right here. And you can see it's billet aluminum, LSX Innovations. And it comes with a new idler pulley. I'll have to read the instructions, guys. And I think this is just some kind of reinforcement bar. I'm just showing you what we've got currently. I will be doing an install of all this in another video to show you guys how to hook it up. This is just a hardware list, everything that's supposed to come with it. And this shows you how it goes. So what this is going to do is, since I'm not running power steering, this is going to locate the alternator down here at the bottom of the block, where the truck power steering pump used to be. So it's going to be right down here instead of up here. Let's see, and in here, what's this? I'm not sure what this is. Oh, yes, he told me about this. So this is a manual tensioner. When you use this kit, you have to switch to, you can use like a Camaro style belt tensioner, I believe. And we were talking about it, and he was like, well, when you're running this configuration, when you start turning a lot of RPMs, like getting over 6,000 RPMs a lot, you run into the problem with the factory belt tensioner. It'll start throwing belts. Well, he makes this really nice. This is a manual belt tensioner to take the place of the automatic tensioner. So he went ahead and threw me one of those in there too. Like I said, I'm going to show you guys how we hook all this up. So we got that in there. That goes alongside the low mount alternator bracket. And then I think I know what this is. Okay, so we've got more than one thing in here. Yeah, we've got several things in here. So first off, what we got is we've got water pump spacers. So since I'm using a Camaro style water pump, you have to space it out to use the truck style spacing, the truck style crankshaft pulley and everything. So these spacers allow you to space the water pump out so that it lines up with the truck balancer or damper, whatever you want to call it. And then it comes with gaskets, 2 of these. And this also is tapped for your steam port. So instead of tapping my water pump like you guys have seen in my videos, here's all the hardware. You come with all new water pump bolts, and the bung that goes in the tap here. So you guys know I usually just tap my water pump. Well, I won't have to do that with this setup. It'll be ran right into that. And then this stuff over here, this is a kit. When you use the low mount alternator, you have to tap. There's an extra hole that's in the LS1 blocks that's not in most of the truck blocks. And it's down low. It's like a second hole to mount that low mount alternator bracket. So this here is a kit. It comes with you know, the right drill bit, and it comes with these spacers you use with the bracket to make sure you're drilling the hole straight and exactly where it needs to go. And it comes with the proper tap and then a bolt for that that low mount alternator. So this is awesome. Justin, I appreciate it, brother, and welcome to Bad Luck Garage. Glad to have you aboard. Like I said, this is my first manufacturer sponsor, so I'm really happy. Couldn't ask for a better sponsor, because again, it's a company I already believe in, a company I've already been recommending to you guys for years. Like I said, we'll go over this in another video. I will show you guys how to install all that stuff. For now, I'm going to go over here and show you what we've got done to the car. I'm really wanting to fire this thing up tomorrow, and I'm going to show you, explain to you why it doesn't look so finished, but what I'm going to do to hopefully ensure that we can start it tomorrow anyway. I've been putting out little teasers, pictures and stuff on Facebook and Instagram. So a lot of you guys know, I went ahead and I plumbed my nitrous kit, at least one stage of it. We got our spacer mounted in here that Zane sent us about a year ago that I tapped for nitrous nozzles. So we've just got a mainline kit. This thing maxes out at like a 250 shot. I do plan to put a second kit on here. Ordered another set of spark plug wires, another set of these Street Thunders. Some of you were asking for the part number. This is for the truck, the Street Thunder 51046. The 51045 is for the Corvette and Camaro applications, and they're only 9.5 inch long, where these are 11 3/4 inches long. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to use these on the Avalanche because it needs a tune up anyway. And I've ordered a set of the 51045 wires to put on here. So we're going to try those. If I can make them clear and I'm comfortable with it after I wrap these headers and everything, that they're not going to melt the wires, then that's what we'll go with. If not, well, we've got a sponsor now, and that sponsor makes coil brackets to relocate the coils. So, if I can't make the shorter wires work, then I'll probably get with LSX Innovations and have them send me some of the relocation brackets, and maybe we'll mount the coils up here on each side, and I'll just have to get a custom length wire kit and make wires to go under the headers instead of above them. Honestly, I'd rather do it that way anyway, because it gets the coils away from all the heat, but I'm gonna try to do it the other way for you guys who were asking about doing it the other way, and if it works, and that's fantastic. Now, something else I was talking about in the last video was the dipstick tube. Okay, so here's our LS3 dipstick tube that it told us to order. If you're using a Holley oil pan or you're using a TSP oil pan, like I showed you in the dirt cheap oil pan video, it recommends an LS3 dipstick and dipstick tube. This dipstick tube will not work with these up and over headers, but my buddy Jeff over at the Headflow Inc. YouTube channel shot me a message, and he's like, hey man, you realize you could just cut the truck dipstick off and just use it, right? And I was like, well, yeah, but I was kind of wanting to use this because, guys, I've got a bunch of these truck dipstick tubes laying around, and the brackets broke on all of them. You can see this one don't have one on it. But I started thinking about it, and that was a way better idea, Jeff. That was a way better idea than me trying to rebend this. And I can save this for, maybe another NA project in the future where I use another TSP oil pan. So I'm going to show you guys how to do this real quick. This is real simple, and there's going to be oil on it because there's already oil in the engine. But basically, all you have to do to use the truck dipstick with a Holley pan or with this other pan is cut it off. So you can see what happens here is these are the same length now. So what you want to do, you want to take your truck dipstick, cut it off 2.5 inches where there's 2.5 inches sticking out, okay? And then you measure up, I think it's 1 1/8 and 1/8, and that's your new full mark. Yes, I just measured it, that's correct. You want your dipstick to be 2.5 inches out of the bottom of the dipstick tube, and measure from the new bottom of your dipstick 1 1/8 inch up, and you can see I scratched a new mark. That's my full mark, and then I just put a little mark below it for, you know, probably about a half a quart low. So yeah, that's how you use the truck dipstick tube with a Holley pan, or with a TSP pan, or any other pan really that tells you to use an LS3 style dipstick. I buttoned a lot of stuff up on this car over the last couple days since the last video, guys. I actually got a new aluminum oil pan for the Turbo 350. We put that on. If you remember in the video where I did the full manual conversion on the Turbo 350, it had a shitty old, you know, chrome pan. It was all warped, and I was pretty sure it was going to leak. So I got online and I ordered a pan. It was only $36 from Pro Comp, and it came with all new bolts, a new gasket, drain plug, all that. It's solid aluminum, shouldn't leak. And we went ahead and filled the transmission up, which brings me to my next thing. You look right there, right behind the intake, or next to it, you will see we now have a locking dipstick, and it is a factory style tube, none of that crappy low carb bullshit. And I once again have to thank my buddy Phil Bretthauser for that. He sent this to me. I'm gonna put a link to this in the video description as well. He sent me a link to the part number. It's a Proform dipstick, guys, and it works perfect with this LS swap with the Turbo 350. I'm assuming it would work with the 400 too in this 3rd gen Camaro. I mean, it fit like a glove. Matter of fact, it fits so tight I don't even have it bolted in, because I can unlock it and pull it out and the tube doesn't move. I mean, it's kind of wedged in a way, but not really. I mean, if I wanted to, I could pull it back out pretty easily. He also sent me this bracket. As you know, the bell housing bolt that usually mounts to is not present in an LS engine. So he sent me this bracket. I'm not sure where he got it. Maybe he can chime in. Phil, if you chime in the comments or send me a message and let me know where you got this bracket, I'll put a link for this bracket in the video description too. But what this does is it bolts to the next bell housing bolt over, and then allows you to mount that dipstick tube. I really don't want to pull all my wiring and stuff out to do it right now. If I ever have a problem where the dipstick tube seems like it's getting loose or something, then I'll put this on. But yeah, there you go, guys. I mean, it's a factory style dipstick tube, factory style dipstick, fits in there great. I went ahead and, well, it's not full of transmission fluid because it hadn't been pumped through, which brings me to my next thing. I'm waiting on a lot of parts, guys. Some of the parts I was waiting on were some more AN fittings, you know, to make up my transmission lines. I did not get those, but what I was able to do is take the factory transmission lines that were in here when this was a V6 and rebend them a little bit, and I've got them bolted into the Turbo 350. And then right here, since I don't have my radiator in yet, I went ahead and looped them together so we can start this thing without pumping transmission fluid everywhere. The only reason I don't have the radiator in yet is because I've got to space my water pump out and install the alternator bracket, you know, get my accessories in line, and I don't plan on doing that before tomorrow, and I want to start this thing. So I'm actually waiting on that. I'm waiting on a lot of stuff, guys. I'm waiting on the parts to build my exhaust. Basically what's happened is I've ordered a lot of stuff over the last couple weeks to finish this thing up, and the eBay sellers right now, I'm guessing it's because of the, you know, the whole COVID thing, they're marking stuff shipped, but they're not shipping it. So I've got an exhaust system I've been waiting on for about a week. It's a make your own exhaust that me and my cousin are going to use to run the exhaust down under the front fenders. I've got the lines and fittings. I just ordered those. They haven't shipped yet. I've got some different nitrous lines that I ordered a while back. They haven't shipped yet. And oh yeah, Matt Happel. I know Matt from Sloppy Mechanics actually commented and told me to just do a dry setup and let Holly take the wheels, what he said. And brother, I'd actually thought about doing that. I really did, but I was afraid I wouldn't have enough injector for it. That's the only reason I'm going with a wet setup. But what I might end up doing is when I put the second kit might be a dry kit, or I might do vice versa, like make the first stage a dry kit and make the second stage a wet kit. If if I could get some of those snake eater injectors or something, which I do plan on in the future, some bigger injectors, then I would have went with a dry shot. But that's the deal with that, Matt. I wasn't sure if I would have enough injector for both stages, so I just went ahead and went with a wet kit here. But I went ahead and I wired up my first stage of nitrous. Used one of those nice Deutsch connectors that Dustin sent us ever so long ago, and I've got it wired up to one of these NOS solid state relays. I've already got it tied into the Holley for progressive control. I haven't really programmed it yet to do it, but I mean, I haven't assigned the IOs and everything yet, but I'm working on that. We also do not have our wideband sensor hooked up. I think I can start this without it. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it'll start without it. Well, I mean, it's going to have to, because we don't have the exhaust ran and we don't have any place to put our wideband sensor right now. So I think that's about it. We've went ahead, we filled everything up. We've got oil in the engine, we got tranny fluid in the transmission. I went today, as you saw earlier in the video, I had to do a firmware update on the Holley HP, and I loaded my bass tune, which is probably pure shit, guys, because here's the deal with that. This isn't a Terminator, so I don't have that little quick start screen or whatever. I had to build my own bass tune. I mean, I tried to use, they've got a wizard that you can use on your laptop, and I tried that at first, and it just didn't look right to me at all. So you cannot open Terminator software and do the compare and copy stuff over. You can't do that in V5, which is what Dominator and HP use. So what I had to do is I opened the Terminator software, and because I've got a 3-bar map sensor already, I kind of compared files and like hand did a bunch of stuff, like copied a row at a time, and then kind of smoothed between rows where rows were missing, and I don't know, guys. It's kind of a cluster. I'm hoping it's going to be enough to start it, at least. I don't plan on letting it run long, obviously, because we don't have any coolant hooked up. But yeah, guys, I'm really hoping for the first startup tomorrow. I'm kind of rambling right now, but I just wanted to show you guys what's coming, what's done, what's not done. We got our brake booster line hooked up. I actually found this line that had the perfect curve to come over the top of my windshield wiper motor there. And then I had to piece another line to it right there. I just used a brass coupler in between them there. So we got that all hooked up. Throttle cable. I'm going to do a video on that, guys. I'm going to be using some parts of the original V6 throttle cable. And I have this low car throttle cable that, again, Phil Bethauser sent me. We're going to be kind of combining those two together to make our throttle cable. But I'm not worried about that for the first start. I think that's about it, guys. I mean, I've just been buttoning up little things here and there. You can see the interior is pretty much all put back together now. We got our shifter and everything in here. It's looking a lot cleaner than a race car should. That's our USB wire for our Holley. I've got this panel that goes up under there and covers everything. This wire doesn't mean anything. This is just going to our push button from when we used nitrous to try to blow up the V6. But I'm probably going to reuse that push button on the steering wheel again for a line lock or something like that. So yeah, so the interior is all back together. What else, guys? I don't know. I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, I pulled the spark plugs out after I got the Holley updated and loaded my tune. My oil pressure gauge, the factory gauge, it doesn't seem to be showing while I'm cranking. So I got worried that maybe I didn't have any oil pressure. So I hooked my laptop up to the Holley and cranked it over, and Holley, it built up. The Holley software was showing that I had like 27 pounds, 27 pounds of oil pressure after I'd been cranking it for a few seconds. So I think we're good on oil pressure. If it's got 27 pounds cranking, then I mean it ought to jump up there pretty good once it starts. So I pulled all the plugs out to do that. I always do. Yeah, that's something I usually do, guys. I don't prime the engine like with an external primer, but what I'll usually do, you may have seen me do it before in some videos. There's actually a plug right here, and it goes straight to the oil galleys right above the pump. What size is this? Looks like a 8mm. Yeah, it's an 8mm hex head. But you can take that plug out, and I've got that old squeeze bottle of Lucas oil treatment. That's just got regular old oil in it. Well, you know, my Mobil 1 high mileage 5W20 that I always use, it's got that in it. So I'll just take that squeeze bottle and I'll stick it in the hole and squeeze it to kind of prime the oil pump after I've already, you know, put all but about a quart of oil in the engine. So I'll stick that in there and squeeze it. When it starts running out, I'll take it out, put my plug in, and then I just pull all the plugs and I'll crank the engine till I see some oil pressure build. It usually, if you do all of that, it usually only takes maybe, you know, 10-20 seconds of cranking before you start seeing oil pressure. Then after that's done, I'll go put my plugs back in, put my plug wires back on, and then, you know, we're ready for the initial start. So that's kind of where I'm at, guys. I've got my cousin's actually coming over. He should be here in just a few minutes, and we're going to talk about him cutting these headers, modifying these headers, talking about how we're going to route them to pull the exhaust out under the front fenders on each side. And I've got to put my plugs back in for this first start. Since I don't have the short wires, we're going to put these wires back on. I'm going to take these coils loose, and we're just going to zip tie them way up high here to get the wires off the headers just for this first start, and we'll be good to go, guys. So hopefully, if everything goes well, the next video you see will be me doing the first start on this, and then after that we'll do the low mount alternator and the manual tensioner, drilling the block, spacing the water pump, and then we'll be putting everything back together up here. I guess since I've already bent these older lines to work, we'll probably just keep them for now, because they should go right into the radiator where they're at. And after that, it's just a matter of hopefully my cousin Brad can build our exhaust to go down and out, and this thing should be ready to rock and roll. And that's pretty much it, guys. I can cut the ramble short now. Once again, thank you to LSX Innovations for coming on board, sponsoring the channel, helping us out. I'm gonna get the banner hung up. I'm gonna get the logo put on the car. I'm definitely putting one on the windshield, but I'd like to put at least two of the smaller decals somewhere else on the car. Hell, maybe on the side, maybe just on the back glass there. But you guys can kind of tell me what you think. I'm gonna stop rambling. I've got to get these plugs thrown back in, tie a few things back up with the spark plug wires, all that, like I just told you guys about. So thanks again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more. Get out in the garage, get something done. I'll see you next time here on Bad Luck Garage.